learners, I'm Sakshi Tiwari and I welcome you to our new lesson. Well, how are the stars? The stars are as bright as diamonds, yes? The lion roared as loud as thunder. Well, what am I doing? I talked about stars, I talked about lion, but I am comparing, their strengths or one of their attributes with something else. And what do we call it? We call it similes, and this is exactly what we are going to learn today. I welcome you to our new lesson, which is understanding this figure of speech, which is simile. So let's get into the lesson. So what exactly is simile? See, simile is a figure of speech. It is a way of comparing two things using the words like or as, right? It helps us to describe things more clearly, and it of course makes what we are saying more interesting and fun. A simile shows how two different things are similar, and we always use these words to make the comparison. For example, her hair is as soft as cotton. Now here we are comparing her hair to cotton to show how soft it is, right? Let's take another example. He runs like a cheetah. Now what are we comparing here? Here we are comparing his speed to the speed of cheetah, right? We are comparing his speed to a cheetah's speed to show how fast he runs, right? So similes help us to describe things better. They add fun, they add creativity to our speech and to our writing, right? So now the question comes that how to form a simile? How do we decide it? Or maybe what's the structure? See, the first thing is that you have to pick two things to compare. All right, you have to choose two different things that you want to compare, and these things can be anything. It can be a person, people, animals, objects, actions, etc. So first thing is pick two things that you want to, of course, describe or compare. Then second step is decide what you want to highlight. Now here you have to think about what you want to describe about the first thing. Okay, you have to decide that which attribute am I going to describe. The third one is use like or as. Yes, you have to add the word like or as to show the comparison. You have to use as when you're describing something in a similar way. All right, similar way. Okay, this is how we use as. And you have to use like when you are comparing directly. Okay, for example, let's pick two things. Okay, step number one. So let's say the dog and a lion. Now what is the second thing? What do we want to compare? How about we compare the dog's strength to to the lion's strength? And now let's form the simile. The dog is as strong as lion. Now here I used as to compare the strength of my dog with lion's strength, right? Let's take another example. Okay, let's pick two things. How about laughter and music? Now what I want to compare is the beauty of somebody's laugh. Okay, and let's create a simile. Her laugh is like music. Now why did I use like here? I used like here to compare the sound of her laugh to music, which is like that, exactly like that. Okay, now let me give you some more excellent examples of simile related to different things, right? Like appearance, nature, animal, etc. The first one being describing people. So how about we compare the height of this person to the height of giraffe? So what will be the simile? He is as tall as a giraffe, right? She is as small as a mouse. Now I hope you're able to see the simile. We are comparing one similar thing in both of them, and we're using as here, right? Her skin is as smooth as silk. His eyes were as blue as the ocean. Yes, I hope you're finding it really interesting. It makes our language just extremely beautiful, and the vivid imagery that gets created, right? He runs as fast as a cheetah. Yes, she is as quick as lightning. Isn't it just so excellent? Now here I would also request you to type in the comment section one simile that you would like to draw for your best friend, and you have to write it in the comment specifically related to appearance. Okay, The second one here, describing things or objects around us. Yes, the stars are as bright as diamonds. What are we comparing here? We are what are the two things? Stars and diamonds. And what is the thing that we are highlighting? The brightness. Yes, the light was as bright as the sun. So the light, flashlight, was so bright, it felt as if it's, sun's light. The car is as red as a rose. Yes, her dress was as yellow as a lemon, right? Let's take one more example. The tree was as tall as a skyscraper. Isn't it doesn't it create an excellent image in the mind? The book was as thick as a brick. Yes, so let's say if I say that the book was thick, but when I say that the book was as thick as a brick, the imagery gets extremely clear, right? Let's move to the third one, which is about describing emotions using simile. Yes, for example, she was as happy as a lark. Yes, he felt as cheerful as a puppy. He was as sad as a rainy day. Yes, she felt as lonely as a cloud. He was as angry as a bull. Her face turned as red as a tomato. Yes? The fourth set of words are from nature or animals, okay? The first simile being this one. The wind was as cold as ice. Yes? The rain fell as softly as a feather, right? Or maybe, if we just do the vice versa, the rain fell as hard as rocks. Yes, the cat was as quiet as a mouse. The lion roared as loud as thunder. Yes, the mountains are as tall as giants. Isn't it just amazing? The river flowed as gently as a lullaby. Such a beautiful, simile here. Yes. Now, how about we describe some actions? Yes, the movements. For example, she moved as gracefully as a swan. Swans are known for their elegance, right? And that's why we are comparing that with the, with the person. He jumped as high as a kangaroo. Yes, he spoke as sweetly as honey. Her voice was as soft as a whisper. Yes, she worked as hard as a beaver. Yes, he was as busy as a bee. Bees are known for being busy, right? That's right. The last ones are related to sound, like her scream was as loud as a fire alarm. Fire alarms are like loud, deafening at times, yes, and her scream was similar. The music blared as loud as a rock concert. Yes, his voice was as sweet as a songbird. The melody was as soothing as a gentle breeze. The door squeaked as loudly as a mouse's squeal, right? The chair creaked as if it were an old man groaning. Beautiful, beautifully written. Yes, great. So I hope you're able to understand, and these were certain examples of similes. I would request you to remember certain things, like when making a simile, use like or as to draw the comparison between two things, right? Because it helps in making the comparison clearer. The second thing that I would request you to remember is choose two things that have similar qualities to make your comparison stronger, right? And of course, the third one being be creative. You can, compare almost anything with your creative imagination, right? Great. So with this, we've come to the end of our lesson. I really hope that the lesson was helpful. I'm confident that now you're clear of similes. Similes are, simile is that figure of speech where we compare two things with one common attribute. Yes, and we have to keep in mind that we use like or as while drawing the comparison. Yes, additionally, if you want to brush up your English, you can check for these ebooks. Where to find them? There are grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary related ebooks. You can follow me on my Instagram, check the Instagram story, click on order, and you can get them in your inbox, within 5 minutes. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. Happy learning.